Hi, welcome back. Mr. Osborne here again. What are we? Session 8 of our 10 sessions of science videos. I've got something to show you. If I can get it open here, check this out. It is a tiny part of it's very tiny. Where's the camera? It's a triceratops tooth. Okay, that's about 120 million years old. Okay, going through my daughter's fossil collection, find all sorts of little goodies in there that I'm sure I must have purchased them for her. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get moving on to what we're here for. Let's go into sharing screen. Hope you are well. Session 8. Let's find the full screen mode. Wonderful, and let's get move me. So this is session 8. What we need today, well, as ever, nice and simple. You only need pencil and a paper, your brain's engaged and ready for some learning. And today we're going to continue looking at classification. And today is going to be a real focus on vertebrates and invertebrates. But before we get into that, let's get our brains warmed up. So can you match these animals to the correct group? If you remember last time we looked at grouping animals and why we classify animals. So here you go, we have mammals that usually have hair or fur. They give birth to life young. Mammals that live on land have 4 legs except humans, and they're all warm-blooded. You might have a bird, feathers, 2 legs, lay eggs, and a warm-blooded as well. Or a reptile, they have scales, not fur. They have dry skin and have 4 legs or no legs. And they're cold-blooded. And then finally insects that are very small. They sometimes have wings and they can have more than 4 legs and can have bodies in 3 parts. So your job to get your brain warmed up before we get going in this session is to match these animals and where they should go. So we obviously have a praying mantis there, we have an iguana, we have a bird, and we have a wolf. 30 seconds, come back, and then let's see how you got on. Fantastic, so you're back already. Let's have a look. So we had to match the mammal. So which one's the mammal? Which one there's got fur? Well, that's quite easy. It's going to be the wolf. Okay, a bird. There you go. It's like a really colourful kind of robin, but I'm not sure what type of bird that is, but it's obviously a bird. We can see it's got 2 legs. It's got wings. A reptile, well, you can see the nice colourful scales on that iguana there. And then we have the praying mantis insect to go at the end. So yours should have looked something like that. Hopefully you're patting yourself on the back with your amazing classifying animals knowledge. So today, as I already have mentioned, we're going to continue to describe how things are classified into groups according to their common characteristics. And 2 of those main common characteristics are animals with vertebrates and invertebrates, so a backbone and not a backbone. Here we go. Always got an animation going on, as you can see. So quick recap of what we had last time, just to make sure you know what we're talking about. Each different type of animal is called a species, and all species are related to each other. So animals can be divided and classified by looking at similarities and differences, and they're just by the spinning earth. Love that animation. We have the microscopic little animal there, and then we have the giant blue whale, which is so big and impressive. You can see it's 29.5 meters long, and just look at the size of the elephant is the same size as his tail. So we discussed about planet Earth being absolutely jam-packed full of animals and the need for those to be classified. So why do we classify animals? Well, we classify animals because there are millions of different species, like I've just mentioned, different types of plants, animals, fungi, and bacteria. So we classify different organisms, okay? In order to learn more about them, it is necessary for scientists to sort them into groups. And I think last time we were discussing, are a dog and a lion closely related? Which we discovered that actually they are, because they're both mammals, whereas a fly and a seagull, they may both fly and be quite pestering. They're actually not closely related because one's an insect and one is a bird. So today we're going to move sort of one step down the classification ladder to look at invertebrates and vertebrates. Okay, now we touched on this a little bit last time, animals are divided into two main groups. Okay, animals that have a backbone are called vertebrates. Okay, if you have a feel down your back, you can feel these little bumpy bits. That's your spine going down your back. That's your backbone. And animals that don't have a backbone are called invertebrates. Okay, and there's a little selection there of some mammals, reptiles, birds, and fish. All have backbones, whereas we have some sort of flatworms, roundworms, mollusks, and jellyfish there that are invertebrates. Okay, which means they don't have a backbone. Okay, make sure you're just making some notes down as we go along, because I forgot to mention at the end, obviously, we will have a pop quiz. Okay, we do that every time just to check that the knowledge has gone into our brains. Okay, so vertebrates, as I've already mentioned, really, vertebrates are animals that have a backbone inside their body. And within the vertebrate groups, the main groups include fish. Okay, as we see there, zebrafish, amphibians such as frogs. We have reptiles. There you go. There's a chameleon sat there, or we looked at the iguana earlier. Birds. There's your common sparrow, and mammals, okay, which is an elephant, you know, your lion, your dog that we've already discussed, and as humans. Okay, so all of those animals there can be classified together because they all have a backbone. Okay, so vertebrates, the meaning of vertebrates is that the animal has a backbone inside of their body. So the opposite to that, okay, is invertebrates. Okay, people might be a bit squeamish there. There's a bit of a spider. Okay, so invertebrates are animals that don't have a backbone. Okay, and some have soft bodies like worms, slugs, or jellyfish. Okay, so you can see there, you can see the common earthworm there. I'm sure you picked up a worm before and have felt how soft their body is. Okay, now there are other types of invertebrates like insects, spiders, and crustaceans. They have a hard outer casing called an exoskeleton. That sounds pretty cool. Sounds like something you get in Marvel. Okay, exoskeleton. This protects their body and is a bit like a suit of armor. Okay, now I'm sure if you've ever picked up a spider, actually, and you can feel how sort of tough their body is. Okay, and that's due to them having an exoskeleton. So that protects their body and is very much like a suit of armor. So whereas we looked at the animals before, they had a backbone, all of these animals don't have a backbone. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's play odd one out. So here you go. We've got an elephant, we've got a parrot, we've got a fish, we've got a lion, and we've got a spider. Take 30 seconds. Can you work out which is the odd one out? Okay, so you're back already. Fantastic. Well, let's have a look. Well, we know an elephant and a lion are both mammals. We know a parrot's a bird, and we know that beautiful coloured fish is obviously a fish, and we know that spider there is an insect. Okay, but which is the odd one out? Well, actually, there's 4 animals there that have backbones, and there is one that does not have a backbone. So if you put down the answer of spider, you would be absolutely correct. Okay, the spider is an invertebrate, which means it does not have a backbone. Okay, however, remember with spiders, okay, that insect there, he has an exoskeleton, he or she has an exoskeleton. Okay, so has a hard armor to ensure his body remains intact, and all the others over there, they're vertebrates. Okay, what about this? Here you go. Have a look at this. Can you place these animals into the groups that they need to go into? So you've got a kind of, I'd like to say it's a giant squid, but I think that's just a normal size squid. So a giant squid, okay, you've got a bear, you have got a snake, you have got a worm, and you have got a snail. So why don't you have a go at putting those animals into the groups that they should go into? Are they a vertebrate or are they an invertebrate? Pause the film there and then come back in a minute or so and we'll have a look at the answers together. Okay, so you're back already. Wow, let's have a look. So um, we've got a squid, we've got a snake, we've got a bear, we've got a worm, and we've got a snail. Wow, I definitely know that there are two animals there that are vertebrates, okay? And I know there's sort of a strange option there. Let's have a look at the snake. So is a snake an invertebrate or a vertebrate? Well, actually, a snake is a vertebrate, okay? It has a backbone, okay? Which is quite strange because the worm and the snake, you would say, are very similar, but not so true because the worm is an invertebrate. The bear is definitely a mammal, so therefore it is a vertebrate there. And then we've got the giant squid and we've got the snail. Let's have a look, let's reveal the answers. Here you go. That's what you should have, okay? So we have a snake and a bear as vertebrates there, and then we have invertebrates. We have our snail, we have our worm, and we have our giant squid. Okay, lovely. Hope you are patting yourself on the back there and you've got those correct. Right, let's move on to, I think it is pop quiz time. Okay, my favorite time of the video. Quick quiz then about vertebrates and invertebrates. Let's test your knowledge for today. Which of these animals has a backbone? A worm, a giant squid, or a frog? Number two, which feature do fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals all have? Is that legs, a front bone, or a backbone? And number three, which of these animals are classified as vertebrates? Dogs, snails, or worms? Okay, nice and easy for a clever year six, I'm sure. And we have got some questions after this, but pause the video there, come back in two, and then we'll have a look at the answers. Okay, so you're back already. Let's have a look. So number one, which of these animals has a backbone? Well, is it a worm? Is it a giant squid? Or is it a frog? I'm hoping you put the answer. A frog has a backbone, as it is a vertebrate. A giant squid and a worm does not have a backbone, therefore is an invertebrate. Which feature do fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and all mammals have? Legs. Okay, well, no, fish definitely doesn't have legs. A front bone or a backbone? Well, actually, you know, all the mammals there, all these animals have a backbone. They're known as vertebrates. Okay, which of these animals are classified as vertebrates? Dogs, snails, or worms? Easy, that question. Absolutely dogs all day long. All dogs have a backbone, so are classified as vertebrates. Okay, so we're to the second part of the quiz. Let's have a look. So question 4, which type of animal are the most common on planet Earth? Invertebrates are only small creatures, only large creatures, or any creature without a backbone. Which of these invertebrates has an exoskeleton? Okay, so pause the film there, come back in, say 2 minutes, and we'll have a look at the answers together. Okay, brilliant, you're back already. So number 4, which type of animal are the most common on planet Earth? Is it an invertebrate or is it a vertebrate? Well, it is an invertebrate, okay? And in fact, it's over 96% of animals on Earth are invertebrates. That's quite an astonishing fact, okay? Invertebrates are, and you need to finish the sentence here, only small creatures, only large creatures, any creature without a backbone, okay? And then let's have a look. Well, here we go. Invertebrates can be as small as a butterfly or as large as a giant squid. And then number 6, which of these invertebrates has an exoskeleton? So that was quite cool, that word, okay? That is, spiders have an exoskeleton which protects them like a suit of armor. Okay, so here we go. Quick recap on the quick session we had today. Well, we were continuing our quest on describing how things are classified according to common characteristics with the main focus of vertebrates and invertebrates. Remembering a vertebrate is anything with a backbone and an invertebrate is anything without a backbone. Okay, so next time we're going to look how things are classified into groups with a main focus on plants. Okay, now I'm just short. Yep, here we go. Another animation. Okay, so thank you for dropping by. Take care of yourself. See you next time. Goodbye.